This is I Make Beats, and welcome to the channel. I'm a little late to the party, but I have arrived. Today, we're going to take a quick look, a pretty detailed look, at the MPC Keys 61, my 7 top features, as well as a few cons. So stick with me. If you're new to the channel and you're into beat making videos, tutorials, and product reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you're notified when I release a new video. If you would like to be a support to the channel, there are a few ways you can do that. In the description, I have a link for donations, so feel free to click on that to give whatever is placed on your heart. I also have affiliate links to gear and sample packs. If you're planning on making a purchase anyway, feel free to use any of the affiliate links below at no extra cost to you. It's support like this that helps keep the channel going, so thank you in advance. So yes, the MPC Key 61 is here. I'm excited to add it to my studio and make it a part of my workflow and beat making process. There are a lot of cool new features, but I'm not going to talk about every single one. Today, I will focus on the 7 that stood out the most for me. So without further ado, let's get cracking. All right, so starting off, looking at the graphics of the plugins, I thought they did an excellent job with the visualization. I think what this reminds me of, when I first saw it, it brought to my mind the Kronos, because it also has that visual display and functionality. So great job, Akai, you guys really did a great job with this. Okay, so first feature, or feature number 1 for me, would be retrospective record. Now every time I sit down with one of my pieces of gear or equipment, it's always different. Sometimes I'll start off with a drum pattern, sometimes I'll start off with the bass or the melody. So let's take a melody. I have something in my head, I'm working through it. All right, so let's just hypothetically say that I ran through it, made all my mistakes, and I finally play it correctly, like this. Okay, so again, I was just practicing. There was no metronome, but I had the timing right in my mind. The feel was good, but I was not recording. And the odds of me playing that exactly the way I just played it when I hit record is slim to none. And let's just say I did it really, really well. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have took that one. You know what I'm saying? Well, that feature, retrospective record, will allow you to do that. If you hold down Shift and hit the record button, there's a word underneath it that is called recall. Look on the screen, retrospective record. So now what I just played is available to me. Look at that. It's right there. And now all I gotta do is continue with my beat making. I love that. Okay, Feature number 2 is favorites. Let's say I'm working through my tracks, I got my piano down, and I'm looking for a bass, and I find this really cool bass. I love it, right? So I can literally go into sounds, and they have a favorite preset. So I can literally hold down one of these blocks and boom, now my bass is saved to my favorites. I can access it on other projects or whenever I need to get to that really cool mixed bass. That is awesome. I'm loving that. All right, so feature number 3 would be set lists. In the sounds category, you hit this performance button twice, and we are here at set lists. Now, the Chronos also has set lists, but there's a slight difference between how the Chronos does them and how the MPC Key does it. On the Chronos, the set lists are sounds or instruments. On the MPC Key, the set lists comprise of complete projects. So like for instance, I got my project here, I've already saved it to whatever storage device I'm using. I can literally click in here, go to that project and say, hey, you know, I want this to be quickly accessed later on in the future. I want to find the MPC Keys review, click in there, click on that, click down and hit select. There it is. And now it has been added to my set list. I can also hold down, I can make a copy of it, paste it, or I could even clear it out of the set list. So I think the set list is a really cool feature, a great addition to the MPC workflow. Okay, feature number 4. The instant key group. I think that is, they really did some damage with that because, you know, of course we know that MPCs have been known to be able to create key groups, but the instant key group is just, it blew me away when I saw it. I was like, whoa. So like for instance, let's say I want this bass, but it's just one note. It's a sample of one note, okay, which is A. So I load that up. I go into program edit and it's a bass sound, so let's change the polyphony to mono, and let's change it over here also to mono, and instead of one shot, let's put note on, and the layer play, instead of velocity, we'll put cycle. So now what that means is the sound will only resonate as long as I'm hitting the pad or the keys later on. When I take my finger off the note, it will stop. So now, after you set that up, all you have to do is hit that little piano icon and boom. I think that is dope. That is just dope. Any questions? Feature number 5, the tuner. So sometimes even in my, you know, creative processes, sometimes I come along or come across samples, whoever created it didn't put the note. I don't know what key it is. Now I play, so if I hear the note, I could literally find it, but instead of me having to find it, I could use the tuner feature. So in the menu, there is a pitchfork there. So that same bass note that we played earlier, I'm going to use that so that I can show you a demonstration. So we hit this. Now, right now, you're hearing me through my microphone, which is on input 1. But in order for the tuner to hear that bass tone, I'm going to have to move this to resample. So let me do that, and you'll see it. The key is A. So let's see if it matches. Super dope. Feature number 6, For me, it would be layering sounds and creating splits on your keyboard. And for this particular demonstration, I'm only going to use the bass that we created and the piano that I was playing. So for instance, we have a bass. All right, so we go into sounds and we hit the key range button. And as you can see, you can literally set the minimum and maximum for each sound. So for instance, if I wanted my bass, so click on the bass, or it's selected already. I said learn maximum. I can click that, and then I can pick a note on the keyboard, and now that's the maximum note range for that bass. If you wanted to create your range so that the piano would start right after the bass, the default setting for the MPC Key is that it only arms one track at a time. But you can go into the preferences under sequencer, change the rec arm to multi, and you should be able to play or arm both sounds simultaneously. So again, being able to create layers and splits on your keyboard, I think that is dope. And last feature for me, feature number 7, is being able to sometimes play your drum sounds, or any sound for that matter, on the keys themselves. I think that is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all love pads, but sometimes, I don't know, I guess it's the piano player in me. Sometimes I don't mind or would like to play the drum sounds or patterns, create them using the piano keys instead of always having to use the pads. So let's move on to cons. And honestly, surprisingly, I don't have that many, but I do have a few. So let's get through. Number 1 for me is I'm really digging. I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of videos, and a lot of people are, they're not impressed with the sounds. I have to honestly say, Akai surprised me. I'm loving the pianos. I'm really loving the strings, the studio strings. They are really popping. They're really standing out to me. But I think one of the mishaps, and I'm hoping that Akai, if you're listening, hopefully you guys will add this in the next update. So I'm in Fabric Excel, and I'm gonna choose, let's say, preview. Okay, so now I'm in the preview and I have all these sounds, but I have no idea what they sound like. So I can't just click the sound, or I won't know what the sound sounds like until I click it and it loads. So, you know what I'm saying? So I wish there was a way to preview the instrument, like maybe just as I'm scrolling through it, it plays a portion of that sound or whatever, you know, some kind of preview for each sound, because having to load each sound, and again, the load time isn't that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad, but it'd be nice to hear the sound and know if I even want to load it, you know? So I don't know, maybe it's just me. Pretty dope. See that wait time? So until it loads, I won't know what it sounds like. So hey, please give us a preview of the sounds, because it's so many of them. Also, being able to say, hey, I want a clav. I have no idea which one of these plugin folders a clav is in. I mean, I could guess, but it'd be nice for me to just say, hey, I want a clav, and then it, boom, it takes me to, you know, it gives me options to pick which one of these clavs I would like, you know. Con number 2, it may be a small thing. I think it's just muscle memory for me. On the main screen, I find myself, as I'm working through my projects, I find myself reaching to the top. On the MPC one, 2.9, 2.10, there was a folder up here at the top, which allowed you to, you know, load projects and save projects. And don't get me wrong, I do like the new feature that they added, which is it's now under menu. When you hit save, this really cool display comes up. So I mean, I'm digging the eye candy of this, but I kind of wish you guys would have just left that folder, you know, at the top as well. You know, giving me the option to just go boom instead of having to double click or click to hit save to get to projects and all that stuff. But again, maybe I'm being nitpicky, but you know, being the fact that it was on all the firmware, it was there. You know, now it's not. It's kind of well, there you have it. I'm really excited to have this new addition. Like I said before, more beat making videos and tutorials are on the way, so be on the lookout for that. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell. Yeah, you know the drill. Until next time, this is I Make Beats.